The article I found is called Using Comics to Teach English Language Learners. The author begins by discussing how graphic novels were a positive language learning tool when she taught English in Japan. When she was an ESL teacher in New York, she developed curriculum that allowed students to practice their English language learning skills across all modalities, including reading, writing, and visual narratives. She said it required specific planning and scaffolding, but this type of curriculum and instruction really increased the students' engagement. They were motivated, and it helped expand their language development and vocabulary development. Next, the article discusses pre-teaching strategies she used. If the assignment was content specific, she assessed their background knowledge, and then she pre-taught visual grammar related to comics, which includes panels, dialogues, speech bubbles, and captions. And then next, she would have the students practice. She would have them practice matching pictures to captions and different cause and effects. Next, the article talks about students creating their own individual comics. This is when they were given the opportunity to combine text with pictures and integrate their own learned vocabulary, and students were able to learn and practice using pronouns and different verb tenses when making their dialogue. And the comic strip format helped them learn to write in sequential order and also was a good visual scaffold model for them. Having students create their own individual comics also helped the teacher differentiate her instruction. She provided some students with templates with panels and word prompts that contained transition words and phrases. She introduced and discussed vocabulary words, and she provided some students with sentence prompts. Like I said earlier, students were really excited, engaged, and motivated about this project. And I would use this project for maybe higher level English language learners because it can be kind of difficult. So they need to be able to understand vocabulary and different writing structures. So this article relates to our readings because Finnegan discussed the similarities and differences across languages. He talked about semantic, phonological, syntactic, and morphological universes. And we also read about the words, phrases, and sentences. Then we read about how we use those structures in our interactions. And Chapter 8 discussed the categories of information structure, which we can relate to writing comics. Syntax includes semantic and pragmatic information, which relates to comics because comics use its own pattern and structure. The article about comics in this week's readings relate to teaching higher level English language learners because they're able to practice their language skills, use learned vocabulary, practice writing in short phrases, illustrate what they are writing, and practice grammar with the use of verbs, pronouns, and content-specific words.